In this video, I'm just going to run through some undocumented changes in the recent spring update, version 2026.14. I'm now on version 2026.14.2. I did have 14.1, but within 48 hours of having that, version 2 came along. You may well be on version 2 or version 3 by the time you see this video. Apparently version 1 was rather buggy. There was issues with tyre pressure monitoring sensors and also phone keys. I wasn't experiencing any issues with .1 and I'm not with .2 either, but there's quite a lot of changes in this spring update, but it will depend on what car you've got, whether you've got a Highland or a Juniper or one of the legacy models, or whether you've got one with the Intel or AMD processor. And as always with these over-the-air updates, there's other improvements or changes that Tesla don't tell you about in the release notes. So let's run through those. So the first change is with driver profiles. So it hasn't changed up here, that's still the same, but what has changed is we now have got it in settings as well, which makes a lot more sense. So there's a few little changes with Grok as well. Obviously the big one which they've announced is the Hey Grok, which that hasn't working it up, that's strange. Anyway, Hey Grok, I'm making a YouTube video, so do you want to say hello to the audience?
Hello everyone watching Matt's video. Hope you're having a brilliant day.
Grok now automatically closes after 15 seconds of silence, so you'll return to whatever you were previously listening to. And the other change with Grok is the settings are now also in the audio settings. So if I bring up the settings here for the audio, we can scroll down here and we've now got the Grok settings repeated within there as well. And this is in addition to the original way of getting to the settings within the Grok panel there. Another change is if you've got enhanced autopilot and therefore you've got Autopark, that would only work if you had autopilot in auto steer. However, it now works when you have it on traffic aware cruise control. So let's flick that on there and let's try it. And now Autopark is running all the time, detecting available spaces, just like it would do if you had auto steer on. And just to prove it works, let's select that one and say start. And that works just fine. This channel has had over 15 million views, yet only has 40,000 subscribers, whereas it should be 3 to 4 times that, because over 90% of the viewers are not subscribed. Please do, it's completely free, it's only a click for you and it really does help. When you go into Dashcam, we've now got a new save button there. The Dashcam will now also buffer up to 24 hours of footage, but this depends on what device you have in your glove box for saving the footage. So if you have a hard disk drive or an SSD drive in there, you can get up to 24 hours of buffering, but if you're using the standard Tesla USB stick, that will be 1 to 3 hours. The web browser has been updated with the spring update, so if you're a regular user of this, you may notice it's a bit faster and the compatibility is improved. The auto lights have also changed with this spring update and they now come on much later when it's darker. So the light sensor setting has changed and they also flick off quicker as well. That can be a bit annoying if you're driving under shadows from trees. I've found that they are going on and off rather quickly. But anyway, they now come on much later at dusk, which actually is better because before they were coming on too soon. The icons along the bottom of the screen have now got a little bit larger and the All Apps button has now changed. It was previously a ... Now it's a button showing you the last 4 apps that you used. The icons for the front and rear demisters and the wipers have got a bit bolder. They're now bright white rather than a light grey. And if you were to put one down on your shortcut bar, then it's going to stand out a little bit more because it's now white rather than light grey. Now when you adjust your volume, there's a little icon at the end there which shows you what the media source is, whereas before it was just a music note, regardless of what the source of media was. There's now some animated badges, but that's only for the Ludicrous and Plaid models. I believe you get a badge here and that's now animated. Apparently there's been some changes to service mode here, but I don't use this enough to fully recognise the changes, so let's just let Grok tell you.
In the recent spring update, version 2026.14, service mode got a few undocumented tweaks, like a new QR code for independent repairers to authenticate Service Mode Plus by scanning it with their phone, and Toolbox login, all vehicles. Also, a blinking diagnostic trouble code indicator now shows up next to the VIN on the bottom banner when codes are present, plus noise recording panel updates for active noise cancellation mics on certain models, and new panels for vehicle functions and Bluetooth diagnostics.
The visualization graphics for HGVs has supposedly been updated, and the car should now show a European-style truck when it detects one, rather than the American style. The visualization graphics got a big update 6 months ago on FSD cars in the States, but supposedly we now have only the HGV graphic from that. But as you can see from these tests, I'm not seeing it. Someone commented on one of my recent videos that they've now added more lock sounds in this update, but I don't think they have. That looks the same to me, but anyway, if you know any different, let me know in the comments below. Grok also tells me that the Park Assist graphics has received a minor improvement. I kept asking it to check if this was actually the case, and it wasn't just getting confused with the updated Park screen visualizations for the Highland and Juniper models, because that is a new feature in this update. But it was adamant that there's been tweaks to the Park Assist graphics. But again, I'm not convinced, as it doesn't look any different to me, and maybe this was a case of AI hallucinating. So I hope you found that useful, because as always, Tesla changed quite a bit more in these updates than what they put in the release notes. And if there's anything else I've missed or anything else you've noticed, let me know in the comments below. So as always, if you've liked this video, please do click the thumbs up. That really does help. Do subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. If you like the video, please do click the thumbs up button, and leaving a comment also helps too. Plus, of course, subscribe if you're not. If the video saved you time or money, a little support via Ko-fi or the Super Thanks button would mean a lot. There's over 1,300 videos on the channel, so have a browse, use the search, and have a look at the playlists. And here's 2 videos you may want to check out.